I got 3 bags. Oh, wow. No, I got 4 bags. Not counting my wife.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Time Travel Comics, to another episode of Lunch and Comic. And today we're here on the beautiful deck of Captainstrangelife, back porch with the breezes, the summer sun directly ahead of us, and all this lovely vegetation around us. So it's truly paradise because we have the greenery and of course comic books. And we just enjoyed a great hamburger and we're charged and ready to show some pickup as we recently came back from MiniCon, a small convention in Rosemont called the Chicago Toy and Comic Show, C2,
Was it the Monster Con?
MonsterCon. That was the theme of the show. They had a lot of vendors showing different vintage toys, comic books, games, and you name it. It was on the small side. Directly across the street was a bigger convention, but we wanted to hang out in a smaller crowd and see if we could get some good deals. I'll begin with one of the books that I picked up. It's a Marvel title, and it's called The Deep.
Oh.
And it's a movie adaptation. I've never really heard of the show or the movie, so I'm interested to take a read here. And the artwork is by Carmen Infantino. Typically we hear about him with DC Comics, but by now this is the late 70s and Infantino is actually illustrating for Marvel. So just a great cover. I just like that underwater look.
I never saw the movie. Never saw it.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to check it out if anybody has seen the movie or enjoyed it. I know Jaws came around at that time and that was an underwater thriller and box office hit. But yeah, the artwork is very detailed. There's other artists joining in too. I like the Marvel movie special with that film on the top. It makes it look like a film reel, and it's just great. Monsters coming at her, just a great perspective. And I also picked up the True Believer dollar books. They used to be in comic book stores as of a couple years ago. They stopped publishing and producing these. So I always enjoy these reprints because they were $1, number one. And number two, they bring back some of the classics in a more affordable book. So this one happens to be Sue and Reed's Wedding, and just a lot of great artwork, some introduction of some newer characters, and it's a fantastic all-out brawl on the cover. And the True Believers series is over 100, maybe about 150 books, starting with Jack Kirby, and then Marvel decided to continue to run with these singular issues right here. So I'm happy to pick these up. If they're cheap and on sale, I like getting these. So I'll turn it over to the captain to show some books as well, and we'll see.
Yeah, what did I pick these guys? What were these? Were these $2 books? Yeah, these were $2 books. And 2, 4, 6, 7, 5, no, 6 for 10. Yeah, that was it. 6 for 10. Goodie Veronica #1. Halloween Spectacular. What caught my eye about this cover is you notice that Bad Betty is riding the broom between her legs, while Virgin Veronica just sits on it with her legs totally on one side. Very interesting indeed.
Kind of good girl, bad girl. You can tell.
Good girl, bad girl art. That's what
But of course, the captain has an eye for those details. Me, I would look and say, "Oh, it's a cute cover for Halloween."
What is a cute cover? I'm gonna probably make that into a poster. This is War of the Worlds. Was it 39? I would probably already have a copy of this, and this is a pretty nice copy that I got, but it probably comes down to about $1.50 or $1.75 for the book, so I didn't want to pass it up. It's a nice Bronze Age book. Adventures number 38, War of the Worlds.
That's another good title. I like how the title comes out at you.
Yeah, and Killer Raven is like a John Carter type character, or Flash. Well, not Flash Gordon, but what was he? Did he? Oh, look at him. He's right there in the front cover like that.
Yeah, it looks exactly like John Carter.
Yeah,
you also have Daredevil and other heroes. Very cool.
And then I got a Dark Hawk from the same guy, about $1.75, and Dark Hawk. What is it? Assault on Armor City, the annual, part 1. But it's Dark Hawk annual 1, I believe.
That's Iron Man on the cover too. That's pretty nice.
Who was that? Manly?
Manly, right?
No, Manly. Not Manly.
Manly.
It's Manly on the cover. It's almost like with Joe Manly. He died back in.
Oh.
What I got? What else did I get? Was that it? From the one dealer. Yeah, these are the 5 I got from that one dealer.
That's a good price. They came out to about $1 and some change. That's not bad at all.
Not a bad price at all. And this is a square. This is also square bound, by the way. So it's.
Yeah, I can see here. There's no nick or scratch. No creases. That's a very nice book.
Yeah.
Got that 90s art on there.
Not bad. It's I paid less than the cover price for this. So.
Yeah, Iron Man. Speaking of Iron Man, I even wearing socks that have Iron Man on them.
You're not going to show those, are you?
Yeah, why not? It's YouTube. We can get away with anything.
Okay, well in that case, I'll just drink my beer.
Yeah, I'm just going to go here like that, and you can see kind of a mid-70s Iron Man all the way around. You see the logo on top.
Zip those.
It's smells pretty bad.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I surprised myself.
But you could have taken a sock off and showed it, but
no, my foot would get cold. Yeah, I could show a couple books too. Since we're talking about Iron Man, this is issue 310. More toward the end of the first volume run. I'm always a sucker for Grey Iron Man books, especially when you have a War Machine on the cover, as it is here. And I think this is around like Bob Layton's time period. Actually, this is Morgan, 1994. So it's a lot of fun to see. You see the different armors and upgrades of Iron Man throughout the years.
I never cared for Iron Man too much, except when he was in Tales of Suspense.
I like the original. I agree with you, Captain, because there's a story to it. He used his mind and to create the technology. and I just like how they portrayed the robotics. And here it looks a little overdrawn and too much going on. Some of the stories they could have done in 2 pages, but they stretch it out.
Well, that's typical 90s era. That's what they did. They used huge splash pages, one after the other, just to fill up the book.
Fillers and too much going on.
Too much action going on. Action.
Another book I like to show, and shout out to Ranger Sly, who was also on the Four Fossils episode not that long ago. And it's The Lone Ranger, a Dell book. And just great to see the action, a painted cover, typical Dell fashion, really sharp. You see the white horse in the foreground and then running away from the cowboys in the background. It's just great Western art. In the back, I'm looking at moose, kind of a wraparound. So just great 52 pages of Western action here, and this is also from the year of October 1951. And look at the mask that the Lone Ranger we all know and love. You can see it covering his eyes as he goes incognito through the saloons in town to bring about justice. Ooh, and even a train scene right there. That is super cool. You can see the train in the background, the steam engine, locomotive, and the Lone Ranger riding alongside. So this is a fun book. $2. It's from that vendor that we picked up.
No, you can't
at the
beat
beginning.
that.
So
$2. I mean,
even the logo, I just look at that.
That's a low grade Leo, but it's worth $2 for sure.
Definitely low grade, 2 cents. My 2 cents says this is a good low grade.
I like the back cover better than the front.
That's pretty good. At least it's not a moose's behind, I thought, but it's actually the. So speaking of low grade, the best pickup that I had for this mini-con so far was an Amazing Spider-Man number 45. It's a pre-100 run, and this is the 3rd appearance of the Lizard. And the issue has some wear to it. It has some nicks and creases, so it's probably like a 1.8, maybe a 2 at best, but was able to get it for under $30, which is so very hard nowadays. So
yeah,
I was able to. The vendor was very nice. He was from Indiana, and it was great to talk to. He knew about his books and history, and they were all from his personal collection. So it was a lot of fun to support him, and it wasn't a reseller. He wasn't a dealer that was out to turn a profit. He was just looking to liquidate his collection. So
yeah.
I love the yellow cover. I mean, this is...
And he had a lot of that stuff in his basement, and then he had some flooding down there, and he had moisture damage on some of the books that he was selling, but he labeled it and pointed it out. I got here, so nothing special, but for $2, I got a complete set of all the variant covers of number 1 of Robin 2. And I love it because of the Joker. It's got a Joker cover. I like Joker covers. Now, it is 90s. No, this is not 90s. What year is this?
What about 94? Maybe.
When this came out?
Yeah, Robin series. I like the bag. It says collector's set, so it's actually unopened. It's a sealed bag.
Yeah, and you get an extra card in there.
Which, a hologram card.
A hologram card. It was all that gimmicky stuff, so that's kind of interesting. And then I got number 2, which also has a complete set of all the different editions that came out of number 2, the variants and newsstand editions, exclusive hologram.
That's a great pickup.
Not that I care for these gimmicks, but it's just interesting. And for $2, you get there's 4 books in here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of number 2, and then there's 5 of number 1. 5 of number 1 for $2. And you get them in a nice bag. 4 of number 2 in a nice bag.
Yeah, it's all complete. They're sealed. That's great.
I'd probably have these already, but not like that. And then I also got from the same dealer for what were these? Were these
probably
5
for 7 or
no, I think they were 6 for 10. 6 for 10, so under $2.
Yeah, I like the title up there
Jonah
too.
Hex. And look at this. This is so weird. What is he doing there anyway? The black condor. Secret Origins. Jonah Hex and the black condor. George Lopez. No, I mean Garcia.
Oh, Garcia's a Perez cover? Or
No,
Lopez?
not George
Okay.
Perez.
Oh.
Garcia Lopez does the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Had too many beers. Excuse me.
Root beer?
I don't really no, I don't really collect Sergeant Rock too much or war comics that much, but I couldn't resist this cover by Joe Kubert. This is 1988 issue 1 of Sergeant Rock Special Edition.
Oh, wow. See the tank treads on there, and there's something dynamic about war covers and just how the machinery.
I just saw the cover on this and I was attracted to it. I think it's such an attractive cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has his son Adam Kubert working on this. I don't know, maybe Adam did the inks or some of the coloring, I'm not sure. But Joe Kubert on the pencils. But that was nice.
Oh, it's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
This always reminds me of a stoic, the Sergeant Fury. You're kind of more solemn, more war-torn than the quick-talking Sergeant Fury.
Yeah, the weirdest crossover in history. The Viking Prince and
oh yeah, that's
Sergeant
true.
Rock. Yeah.
I think it happened with comics. Oh,
What
that's
are
great.
some?
I picked up a bunch of foil covers. I'm just going to show them as a group. As a little tease, I plan on doing a video about foil covers and that phase and that awkward phase of comics in the 90s. I have more of an affinity for the Silver Age and Bronze Age. The 90s was a different era in terms of drawing and how the artistry is, but I'll leave that for a different video. But this is just some pickups for a project that I'm working on, and we're going to go over these later on Time Travel Comic. I did also pick up a Star Wars book. This was half price, it was $6, and it was number 17. I always been drawn to the still only 35-cent covers. I like how Marvel shows that little mark right there. And it is the untold story of Luke Skywalker's past. So every now and then if I see a Star Wars book, an earlier run, I try to pick it up at a good deal. Loving the red on the cover. It's nice red color. Just a great pickup there. So, and one more book here. This is fantastic. I've had the Superman book, but this is a large Detective Comics, May of 1939. Very iconic cover. A lot of you know about this cover, but I always like the large print, the jumbo look to it. So you can,
Batman.
yeah, the first appearance of Batman in Detective Comics. You'll be very careful with the sticker. The captain probably wouldn't have approved of how I removed it. Very meticulous about not snagging the board must come out and the tape must be removed, and that is the proper way.
Yeah.
And they even reproduced the advertisements on the back.
I think that's the full, complete reproduction without, and there's no way to indicate that it's a reprint because the cardboard cover is off of this.
Okay, right.
So it had another cover.
They had a flap. I know the Superman issue number 1. It's also like a yellow cover. It had that as well, but
yeah. So a lot of people were taking off the cardstock cover and then selling it as an original.
Oh boy, too big for a Goldman book.
Well, they would tell people at the time,
people wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know, well, this is going to be worth a lot of money, and sometimes they'd sell it for several hundred, sometimes $1,000 and get ripped off.
It's a shame that exists in the hobby, but
let me see something here, if I may, just a second, just to see the engagement.
Yeah, it even reprints it exactly.
Yeah, 1939, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It just started. When did World War II? It must have just started, or when did it start?
Yeah, imagine being a child at that age reading a book and
Yeah.
a big part of history. So happy with that pickup. I'm going to add it to my larger Superman and other giant size issues.
So I got these. I think I paid what for these? I think they were in the dollar bin or in the $2 bin, and he gave me the and it's from the same dealer. 2, 4, 6, 8, and what did he do? He gave me 5 for 10, and then an extra comic.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was like I don't know what they came to, less than $2 a piece. So this is Pep Comics number 172. This is from 1964, and I wasn't going to pass it up, you know, a 12-cent comic from the Silver Age, Archie comic for about $1.80.
Wow.
What I paid for those.
I think you're on an Archie's binge there.
Well, you know,
Your Archie book.
they bring back some memories. There's one from 1971, Everything's Archie. I think that's when the cartoons were popular on television.
I like their whimsical, the just kind of gags,
It's a
comedy.
nice square bound 25-cent annual. Pretty nice shape. This, I love the cover on here. This is another Silver Age goodness over here from 1969. And I'll have to show this in another video again because there's a lot of this interesting graffiti that Reggie, mischievous Reggie, is writing on a fence, writing on the fence. Archie is the sap of his family tree.
The sap, oh, that's
the
harsh.
sap of his family tree.
Oh, wow.
Play a little play on words there. And another nice Silver Age from 1968.
That is a nice cover. I read how it's boxed in.
$1.80 is what it comes out to.
Yeah, it's just enjoyable to read. Is it a Christmas cover? No, it's
No.
more of a party.
Well,
That's
yeah,
right.
and it's Veronica's having a red party.
Everyone's
So
wearing
I
red.
didn't know she was a communist, but she's having a red party.
Oh boy, well that's what was happening in the 60s. The ones I came across
Yeah.
were X-Men and the New Warriors, some 90s books here. Black Bolt making an appearance, and I just like the cover here because it also includes the Black Widow, Wolverine, and Captain America. Again, the 90s. What do we make of the art in the 90s? It's this was during my childhood. These were on the Walgreens spinner racks and shelves at the Woolworth right before they closed. Actually, I used to have these issues, and it's what I knew. And then I found out they're better comic books. They're better comic books in the Silver Age and even the Copper and Bronze Ages. So just looking and picking up some random ones there, but it was seeing what I saw.
This one I got for half price.
Wow, this is going to be a nice one.
Yeah, this is pretty nice. What did one potato say to the other potato?
And fried?
Idaho.
Oh,
Idaho.
I don't know. Idaho? Okay.
Yeah.
Idaho potato. Doesn't get as good as that, but
I never seen this before. Idaho.
yeah, that's I like the blues in there. The Bell comic, 12 center.
Yeah, half price for was it a $5 price that I got in the back? I got it for $2.50.
Oh, was that from the last vendor that was kind of not budging at all?
No, this.
Some of the vendors, they knew what they had. Others were filling in for somebody.
Look at the size of that backer board. I mean, this is a thick backer board.
There's a couple. Is it 2 boards?
No, it's one board. It's
one board.
That's what I was trying to tell you. It's just one board, and it's nice and thick. This Idaho comic from Dell is from 1965.
Oh wow, 60 minutes. Such good condition. I mean,
It's beautiful condition.
there are no color breaks hardly. There's no fading on the cover.
Yeah, and for $2.50, $2.50, I couldn't beat it. And this is at the Monster Con. The big Monster Con, they call it there. And it was right across the street from Fan Expo. So
Yeah,
Fan Expo was going on at the same time.
It was across the way, formerly Wizard World.
Yeah.
They changed the name this year to Fan Expo.
Was it this year they changed the name or last year?
It might have been this year or last.
But
hard to
anyway,
say.
I like these smaller cons the best. You get better deals there because they don't have to pay the $1,300 that dealers have to pay for a little cubicle.
Oh wow, that
For a
much.
little cube at Fan Expo.
Mhm.
$1,300
So
as opposed
probably-
to just a few $100 here. And so you get better deals.
And they work with you too. They're happy to work with you.
Sure.
They always say, I can give you a better deal. Going to cons lately that are bigger, I haven't been for a while because of the pandemic and just not being scheduled. The books are almost double what you would, eBay prices or double the price guide.
Right, it
So-
doesn't hurt to ask, you know. You buy some stuff, you ask the guy, you know.
Right.
If they can discount for a certain amount of books that you buy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these last two books I'm going to show you. Xenozoic Tales, number 12. Beautiful cover by Mark Schultz. His artwork always reminds me of Dave Stevens, and Dave Stevens always reminds me of Mark Schultz. Two great artists.
It's a modern book, but it has more of a classic look. It's a
There's another Xenozoic Tales, number 13. I might even have this already, but I don't mind having another copy at $1. I got these for $1 a piece, so. $1 a piece, ladies and gentlemen, as Gratu Orloff would say. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed, and that's all for our show today.
Yeah.
Just some pickups from the local Comic-Con, and really enjoying the breezes here on the back of the captain's ship.
I didn't do it.
No, I did. Must have been that
That
cheeseburger.
freezes. I didn't do it.
Not this time, I know. But it's just a pleasure being back here. It's a 75-degree day, and getting some oxygen from all the plants.
Well, you get some oxygen from the plants. I'm getting some beer from the fridge.
That's it. So thank you for watching, everybody, and until next time, be well.